In today's project, we are going to make these amazing coasters. We are going to walk through step by step from beginning to end on how to make these coasters, which are perfect for keeping, gift giving, or selling. Hello everyone, it's Maddie Azar with Spectrum Art Creations. Our supplies are going to be pretty basic, but of course if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I am also going to be linking all of the product for you in the description box. So if you are curious about any of it, if you'd like to know more about them, you can always click on the links in the description box. Now this project is also a follow-up on a class that we taught here at Spectrum Art Creations. So if you've never joined us for a class, please make sure that you do so. They are a whole lot of fun. Now in the end, we're going to need to seal our project to protect it. Obviously it is a coaster, so it's going to see water and daily use. You could use gloss sprays, glossy accents, Mod Podge. I'm going to be using my Stamperia clear varnish, but there are a lot of different choices, so I will be sure to link some of those down in the description box for you as well. Now I know most of us crafters tend to run out of room. We start with a nice clean area, and before we know it, we are crafting on the 6x6 or 8x8 area because we just have all of the stuff around us. I love using my Totally Tiffany craft station. It helps me to store everything vertically, but yet it's all right there close at hand. So again, I will be linking that down below because if you don't have one, you want to consider getting one. It really is a great lifesaver. Plus, if you're not done with your project, you can still keep everything that you're using right there in one place and then just bring it back out when you're ready to continue. In our store, we have a huge selection of transfer me sheets, everything ranging from cute little critters and animals to vintage images, patterns and florals and butterflies and all kinds of different motif. And oh yeah, there's just a huge selection. So we do hope that you guys will check out our store. And you can mix and match them. For this project, I'm going to be using the following 3 that I'm showing you, but we're going to have a lot left over. So that's also a very nice thing about the sheets is that you could just cut out the pieces that you want, or even have pieces, partial images, and then save the rest to use for future projects. In step 2, we are going to apply our white chalk paint. You don't want anything that is going to create a resist, and that's why we're using a chalk paint, and that's also why we're going to be using the distressed crayons, because they don't actually contain any wax on them. So we're going to paint our bases, mostly focusing on the top side of them, because later on we're going to work on the sides and the backs separately. In step 3, we're going to apply acrylic paint to the back of our coasters. Now, I am using my anthracite color from Stamperia, the Allegro paint. You could use any acrylic paint. Now, this is going to require 2 coats. We're going to do one now, and if needed for touch-ups, we are going to come back and do another coat in the end when we're all done with our project. In step 4, we're going to look at the white chalk side paint again, and if it has any bumps or any ridges, we want to give it a light sand, just a very light buff. Basically, we want a very smooth surface. Once you are done sanding, we are going to give it a wipe just to make sure that we have cleared all the dust off of it. And then we're going to move on to step number 5, and that is the use of our distress crayons. Now, we're using distress crayons because although the name is crayon, it actually does not have any wax. We want to use products that do not have any resist properties. Our goal with our distress crayon is going to be to create a smudge technique. So we are basically just smudging using a little bit of water, and how much or how little you want to do is going to be completely up to you. So I will leave a little bit of this footage in here without cutting it so you guys get an idea as to what I've done and the look that I was going for. With our smudging done, we can move on to our next step, which is step number 6. We are going to be using our first Transfer Me sheet, and we're going to start with the vintage measurement tapes. Now, of course, you can use any of our fabulous Transfer Me sheets. The steps are all going to be the same, so it's just a matter of what look you're going for. Maybe you want to do something with birds, or maybe you want to do something with fairies, or maybe you want to do something with some of the great patterns that we have, like the marble type of look, or maybe the wooden backgrounds, and you can collage as many different ones as you'd like. So take a look and feel free to use whatever your favorite one might be. Now, for those folks, however, that were in the class or that have purchased this exact same kit that I am using, you can follow along exactly the way that I am doing it. Or of course, you have the exact same Transfer Me sheets in the kit. So you could choose to use different parts of the Transfer Me sheets if you so like. Now, I wanted to point out that you will notice that all I did was pull out my sheet and I am cutting the pieces that I want to use. There is a protected film on top of each of the Transfer Me sheets. It's just like a clear acetate sheet. You do not want to remove that at this point, okay? All you're doing is cutting it the way that it is without removing anything from the Transfer Me sheets. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that you can always pause the video at any time. You can also choose to slow it down. There is a little gear in your YouTube screen where you can click on it and it will give you options to either speed up a video or slow down a video. I'm pointing at each of the pieces that I'm using, but again, if you need to pause, you can pause. If you need to slow it down, you are totally in control. So these are the pieces that we're going to need from our first sheet. As you can see, we have a whole lot left, so you'll have plenty for other projects as well. Now I'm going to bring them up closer, so in case you're trying to match them up with your sheets as well, you most certainly can. And then we can all have the exact same pieces to craft along with. In step 7, we are going to work with our second transfer me sheet. So we're going to follow the exact same steps, just roughly cutting out our images. But we're going to be using our next sheet, which is the Vintage Flowers number 2. Again, another great sheet full of amazing images and selection. Feel free to cut out the exact same images that I'm going to be using, or just choose the ones that you like best. You really can't go wrong. They are all so pretty that no matter which way you mix and match them, it's just gonna look fabulous. Now this video that you are watching right now is actually a follow-up to the live online class that we taught making these coasters, and I have to tell you that they are phenomenal. The pieces that everybody walked away with, and some of them posted in the Facebook group, were just stunning. By the way, if you are not part of our Facebook group, do make sure that if you are on Facebook that you join us, because it's a great way to make new friends and of course be in the know of all kinds of new projects and products and classes and inspiration and just fun stuff too. We do giveaways in there as well, so do feel free to join our Facebook group. Now when you go to join, do make sure that you answer the 3 questions that are posted in there, just to make sure that you're not a bot or a troll. So yes, we look forward to seeing you in our Facebook group. And so here now we have the pieces that we're going to be needing from that sheet. Now, I have done a little bit of cleaning up around the edges. I probably came in too close. You don't want to come in that close to your images. You want to leave more of a white border around them. It's just a really hard habit for me to break because I love fussy cutting. So I'm very used to just coming in really close, but leave a little bit more white. And now we are ready to move on to our next step. Oh, by the way, take a look at just how much we still have left over from that sheet as well. Okay, now in step 8, we are going to do the exact same thing. Now we're going to move on to our third sheet. This sheet is one of those that just keeps on giving and giving and giving because it is the clock sheet, and we have a whole lot of clocks, and most of the time we don't even use our clocks in full. We use them, you know, in half or a third or even quarters. So that sheet lasts you a long time. I have a couple of, actually bought like 3 of them, and I have been using them, and yeah, I still have a whole lot. And with those 4 clocks, we are now done gathering all of our images. It is time for step 9, our composition layout. So now we're going to lay out our pieces the way that we want to use them on our coasters. Again, you might cut some of these in half, so you're going to have additional pieces. You can use those on something else, or you can also save them for another project. I am going to lay out the pieces in the composition that I want to use. Now, you can follow along with the exact same pieces for each of the coasters, and then you can just vary your placement if you like. This is all about your personal journey. What moves you? What makes you feel happy? What do you find appealing? You get to make this all your own. Each coaster is completely individual to each artist, so you have fun with this part of the process. Now, to keep my pieces separated, I'm going to use my little cups, and I'm just going to keep them off to the side. So as I continue to work with the coasters, I can grab one cup at a time. And now the fun begins. This is the best part of the project. In step 10, we are going to start transferring the images. To do this is very simple. We are simply going to peel off the clear plastic protective sheet from the images. Then we're going to place them on the coasters with the image side down so that the white paper backing is facing up, it's facing us. Next, we are going to simply add water to the back of that paper. You'll notice that as you add water, the paper is going to go from white to translucent. You're going to see how you can see it here, how it's turning kind of grayish, and I can almost see the image through the backing. You're going to add enough water to wet the entire transfer me. You don't want to over soak it. You also don't want to be too light-handed. You will know, so there's nothing to worry about. And once you do a few of these, you are going to get the hang of it, and it'll be, almost like second instinct. I know the first or second you might be a little hesitant, but trust me, you cannot go wrong. Because the way that Transfer Me works is this. Once the water has saturated through the paper, it is going to release and transfer that image onto your surface. I'm going to use my pink spatula, and of course we have the silicone spatulas also in store, but you're going to use that in order to remove any bubbles that might be underneath the surface or any excess water. So all I'm doing is pushing the water back and forth, just nice and smoothly, taking my time. It's a very soothing process, by the way. You're going to find yourself very relaxed while doing this. Once I have waited a couple of seconds, I am going to simply pull back on that paper. If it resists, leave it. You still need to go ahead and leave it a few more seconds, but eventually when you just touch it and tap it, it's going to slide, literally slide right off of your project and leave behind the transferred image. That's it. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to leave this process in real time. I'm not going to speed it up. This way you guys can see just how long it takes and how quickly it is and how much water I'm applying, so you can get a really good feel as to real time how it works. And again, with the water all dispersed, we are just going to hang back and give it a few seconds, just letting it soak and saturate. And then I'm going to test it by simply putting my finger on it and attempting to slide it. If it slides, great, good to go. If it needs a few more seconds, then I just leave it alone. If it's still sticking, remember you can always add a little bit more water. But now you've seen it done twice, you see how long it takes, you see how simple it is to simply add water and then slide the backing. And now that we have our measuring tapes transferred, we can go ahead and move on to the next layer, which is going to be adding all those other great elements from the second transfer me sheet. So all of the florals and the vintage advertisements come next. Of course, there is no right way or wrong way of layering these. It doesn't have to be in any specific order. You can do one coaster at a time. You can do, part of this coaster and part of another. You're just layering your pieces. So any order that you want to work in will work just the same. Now here's another tip. You can work on multiple images at the same time. So you can wet your first image, work up the bubbles, and while that's doing its magic, you can start working on the second image. You will notice here that I really struggled because I did cut way too close to my image. So remember that I mentioned earlier, do not cut as close as I did. You always want to leave a nice border around it. But yes, you can work on multiple images. The other thing is you want to layer your images on top of each other. It gives you a fantastic look, that look of layering that we're going for. And as you can see, layering them on top of each other just looks fantastic. Isn't this fun? I hope that you feel encouraged as you are watching this to know that you can totally do this. You can play along, you can play with transfer me's, super simple. I mean, just water, right? Some very basic tools and amazing results, and so much fun just to layer them and choose different images. And here are some other ones that I've already worked partially on. Of course, they're still missing the clocks and some other pieces, but now we're getting ready to work on our last one, adding the larger images, that is, before we come in for some finishing touches. Now you will notice that a few of the pieces I did not use fully. So I have, corners, halves, thirds of like advertisements and different labels. And so I love using those again to go back into the other coasters or other pieces that I am working on and be able to use those little bits of scraps. Again, you can save them for something else later on, but I had them out and they look great, so why not? Now, I want you to think outside the box when it comes to transfer me's. I know that right now we're working on coasters, which is great because they're perfect for any room, right, in your home. They're great for anyone in their home or their office. So they're great for gift giving or even for selling, for those of you who have stores or sell projects. But I want you to think beyond that, because transformies can be used on anything. Literally, if you just look around where you're sitting right now and look at a cup or a keychain, a tin can, a book cover, a box, a plate. You can do custom tiles for your kitchen or your bathroom, or just decorative tiles, period. Door hangers, clipboard. I did do a video with a clipboard. I'm going to make sure I link that down below, and maybe add a little card right here so you can go and watch that as well. Anything. I mean, just look around at your desk. I'm looking and I have a tape dispenser in front of me. I could, use them on that and make it look amazing. You can make ornaments. You can add them to tote bags. So at the end of the video, I think what I'm going to do is gather up some of the photos from Dress My Craft of some of the projects that they've posted, that they've made with the Transfer Me sheets, and I'm going to share those with you at the end. So make sure you stay put until the end to get some more ideas as well. And so we are going to continue adding the clocks as well as our alphabet strips. Those are the ones with the letters. And you'll see, even with all of the additions that I'm doing, I am still going to have clock pieces left over, which, we put away and we save for the next project. Now, the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is, if you have not looked in the description box, I have a special code for you. I have a discount coupon code for you in the description box. So if you are ready to start creating with some Transfer Me sheets, or if you're looking for all kinds of other products, we have thousands of arts and craft products in the store. So do take advantage of the coupon and make sure that you share it with your friends as well. Once you are happy with all of your placements, it is time to move on to step number 11. In this step, we are going to be adding gold paint. Now, you have a couple of choices. You can either use the Transfer Me sheet with the gold strips, and we have that available. You can also use gold paint like I'm going to do here. And again, even at that, you just look around. You have probably some great sprays like I am going to be using, or some alcohol inks, or anything that has gold color to it. It is going to be a little bit of a resist, but we are now done with our Transfer Me's, so it is perfectly okay to use something like an acrylic, or maybe something with shimmer, or something that has, any kind of resist properties. And as you can see, all we're doing is creating some random lines, and you do want them to be a little bit translucent, so I am adding some water to my paint. Okay, and we are almost done with our gold paint, because we are going to use it one more time, and that is going to be to do the edges of our coasters. Of course, you could use any color you like. You could use your sprays, your ink pads, your acrylic paints, just about anything, and go around the edges. But I do think that the gold just gives it that great vintage distress look. Again, it's not fully gold. It is more like a gold wash, and I think it looks fabulous. But feel free to use whatever you would prefer. And you might notice that I am also lightly going over the top and the bottom just to kind of fade it in. With that done, it is now time for step number 12, which is adding our splatters. Of course, this is just going to help it all blend in and work cohesively. So you could choose to use white splatters, you could choose to do black splatters, you could choose to do different colors. We had someone in the class that used teal actually, and it looked fabulous. So pick your favorite color. It might be pink or brown, and you can do multiple colors too. So again, totally up to you what your preference might be and what you think goes best with your decor or the look that you're going for. Love using the splatter brush. It not only allows me to control exactly where I want to splatter, but it's super easy cleanup. A little bit of water and just a wipe, and I am ready for the next color. So I decided to do two colors. I'm going to do white and I'm going to do a little bit of black. Well, it's not black, it's anthracite. It's like a grayish charcoal kind of black, which is really pretty and goes really well with this. Plus, it's the same paint that I used on the back of the coasters. So again, it just kind of ties it all in. Now, when it comes to the back of your coasters, don't forget, you don't have to leave them plain the way that I did. You could use cork on them. We do have cork sheets available. You could also stencil on them. Now, of course, anything we put on a coaster, top and bottom, has to be a little bit flat because it is a coaster. But you could definitely do some stenciling or even do some more transformies on the back and then seal the project, which leads us to our next step, which is sealing. So step 13 is about sealing. We're going to seal our project now that we are all done and we are happy with it. Another tip is you can use glitter. You can actually sprinkle and add glitter to the sealer, and then that way you can have a little bit of bling bling in your coasters as well permanently. I am going to be using, as I mentioned, my Stamperia clear varnish, but you have a lot of options. So again, just make sure you look in the description box because I am going to leave you some alternatives there as well. And as easy as that, we have reached the end of our project. Our coasters are done. Now, if you decide that you want to do something else to the back of your coasters, you want to do that after, of course, your varnish, your spray, your glossy accents, your triple thick has dried. So definitely give it a day or two to thoroughly dry. You want to make sure you have a nice thick coat. Again, you're going to be using your coasters to put on your drinks, your cups, your glasses, be it cold or hot. So you want to have a nice, clear, thick coating to protect your coasters for years and years to come. And as promised, here are those additional projects from Dress My Craft. As you can see, if you have it, it can be done. Ceramic, glass, wood, metal, paper, MDF, fabric, book covers, anything that you have can be made beautiful with Transfer Me sheets. Don't forget to check out the store for tons and tons of Transfer Me sheets available. Also, I am going to show you the additional coasters that Dress My Craft has demoed and done with some of the other sheets as well, so that you can see also the different coasters, just I mean, these are just some. You can make any of the Transfer Me sheets into coasters as well. So lots of great inspiration here. These projects are just the tip of the iceberg. Whether you are a card maker or a journal maker, a DIYer, if you like home decor, if you are a gift giver, if you're planning your Christmas gifts perhaps, or Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, unique one-of-a-kind gifts, or even a seller, all of these inspiration pieces shows you just how vast the array of possibilities are. And the fun thing is you have so many things that you can upcycle. Again, because they work on just about every single surface, you can put them on just about anything, even things that you have around the house that you can repurpose, including furniture. So you're only limited by what your imagination will do. The only thing, of course, I always remind everyone is depending on the use of the actual project, you can seal it. You will need to either seal it or not. If it's a decorative plate, that's very different than if it's going to be a plate or a tray, for example, a serving tray that is going to get used. So say you make a gorgeous serving tray, are you going to be putting your keys and phone into that tray every day? Well, then you probably need to seal that well. If it's going to be something that's just going to be leaning up against maybe a kitchen counter or in a bookcase, then of course that project might not need a whole lot of sealing or sealing at all. But again, just look around. Your imagination is all that it's going to limit just how many beautiful projects you can make quickly, easily, and with very little products. It could be a range of colors as well and themes. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. We hope that you will give it a try. Is there a favorite project, something that now that you're looking at all of these pictures has got you thinking and you just can't wait and you know what your next project is going to be? Maybe a photo frame or a card or an upcycled box. What would that be? I would love to hear it down in the comments below. And if you do share with us a comment, I have got something kind of special for you guys. But first I want to show you those other samples of coasters that Dress My Craft had done for us as additional inspiration. Aren't these amazing? Oh, the possibilities, right? There is literally a Transfer Me for anybody and everybody. So no matter whether it's a man, a woman, a child, a theme, the range is just phenomenal. And remember we talked about stenciling on the back? Well, see, those had some stenciling on the back, and that's a pretty neat look. So do keep that in mind if you want to give your coasters a more finished look on the back. But whether it's florals, butterfly, laces, alcohol ink looking ones, collaged ones, wood, again, the possibilities are endless, and all of these are available in the store. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about as far as a giveaway, because you guys have hung in there till the end. And if you're reading this, I want you to leave us a comment and tell us which project you are planning to do next or you would like to do. And we might just pick one, maybe two, I don't know, depending on the number of comments, maybe more. And we're going to do some free Transfer Me sheets. So thank you so much for joining us today in the studio. We hope that you had found the video inspirational, that you found it useful as far as helping you feel more comfortable working with Transfer Me sheets, and has shown you just the large array of possibilities and projects that can be done. Don't forget to share with your friends. We really appreciate you helping us grow. And of course, that keeps us bringing you back even more projects in the near future. Once again, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to check out the online stores. We so appreciate the opportunity to be able to serve you with some amazing products. And also be sure to share with your friends and let them know that we also have live sales here on YouTube in our channel. So be sure to join us for those live sales where we demo and show products, and we get to chat live with you while we're doing the sale. So it's kind of like a QVC, but with the ability to be able to chat and ask questions. Again, you guys have a great day. We will see you all back very, very soon.